Welcome to the Daily Globe. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In the world of global commerce, few ideas are as bold or as ambitious as cutting a new canal through an entire continent. For centuries, the dream of connecting oceans and shortening trade routes has inspired visionaries, engineers, and nations alike. The very notion of carving a new waterway, capable of altering the flow of global trade, is both daunting and exhilarating. It's a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of progress, even in the face of immense challenges. The proposed Nicaragua Canal, a staggering $50 billion project backed by powerful Chinese investors, is one of the most audacious infrastructure plans of the 21st century. Its goal is nothing less than to rival, and perhaps even surpass, the legendary Panama Canal, which has served as the backbone of interoceanic trade for over a century. The Nicaragua Canal would stretch over 170 miles, cutting across lakes, rivers, and forests, and promising to open a new chapter in maritime history. If built, this canal would allow the world's largest ships, vessels too massive for even the expanded Panama Canal, to cross between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. This could dramatically transform global shipping routes, making them faster and more efficient. Supply chains could be reimagined, with goods moving more swiftly between Asia, the Americas, and Europe. The ripple effects would be felt in ports, factories, and markets around the globe, potentially lowering costs for businesses and consumers alike. For international shipping lines, the canal promises not only faster transit times, but also the ability to deploy the next generation of mega vessels, ships that are currently too large to pass through Panama. This could mean fewer ships carrying more cargo, reducing fuel consumption and emissions per ton. The economic incentives are clear: lower costs, greater efficiency, and a competitive edge in the race to move goods across continents. But the project is fraught with controversy and uncertainty. Environmentalists warn of catastrophic risks to Lake Nicaragua, the largest freshwater lake in Central America, and the surrounding ecosystems. Thousands of people, many from rural and indigenous communities, face the threat of displacement, their homes and livelihoods at risk. Financial questions loom large as well, with critics doubting whether the massive investment can ever be recouped, especially in a world of shifting trade patterns and economic volatility. After years of delays, political opposition, and mounting skepticism, the canal remains unbuilt. Construction sites have been abandoned, and the once grand vision has faded into uncertainty. For now, the project exists more as a symbol of ambition than as a reality, its future hanging in the balance as the world waits to see what comes next. Yet, recent diplomatic talks between Nicaragua and China have reignited hopes and fears that the dream may not be dead after all. New agreements and renewed interest suggest that the idea of a transcontinental canal still holds powerful allure for those seeking to reshape the map of global trade. The world watches with anticipation and apprehension, wondering if this audacious vision will finally come to life and reshape the future of trade, or remain a grand, unrealized ambition, echoing through history as one of the greatest what-ifs of our time. The dream of a Nicaraguan canal is centuries old, stretching back to the earliest days of European exploration in the Americas. Long before the modern era, visionaries imagined a waterway that would link the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, transforming global trade and navigation forever. This idea actually predates even the construction of the Panama Canal, which would later become the world's most famous shortcut between oceans. For generations, Nicaragua was seen as the more promising route thanks to its unique geography and vast inland lakes. Spanish explorers in the 16th century were among the first to recognize the potential of the San Juan River and Lake Nicaragua as a natural bridge between the Atlantic and Pacific. Their reports inspired centuries of speculation, adventure, and international intrigue. By the 1800s, the world's great powers, especially the United States, Britain, and France, were locked in fierce competition for influence over this strategic corridor. Treaties were signed, companies were formed, and diplomats negotiated endlessly, all hoping to control the gateway between two oceans. The United States came remarkably close to choosing Nicaragua for its canal. Debates raged in Congress and engineers drew up detailed plans, but political maneuvering, combined with fears of Nicaragua's volcanic activity, highlighted by a timely eruption, ultimately shifted the focus to Panama, changing the course of history. Even after Panama's canal opened, the Nicaraguan dream refused to fade. For many Nicaraguans, the idea of their own canal became a symbol of national destiny, a source of hope for economic prosperity, and a testament to their resilience and ambition. In 2013, President Daniel Ortega reignited this centuries-old ambition by granting a 50-year concession to a Chinese company. The project promised to bring new investment, jobs, and global attention, reviving old hopes with modern partners and technology. Today, the canal remains a powerful idea, deeply rooted in Nicaragua's history and national pride. While skepticism, environmental concerns, and repeated delays have cast doubt on its future, the vision of a Nicaraguan passage continues to inspire debate, dreams, and determination across generations. The modern canal revival is inseparable from China's global rise. The Hong Kong-Nicaragua Canal Development Investment Company, led by Wang Jing, secured sweeping rights to build and operate the canal. Many see the project as part of China's strategy to expand influence in the Americas, challenging U.S. dominance. The canal would give China a new trade route, and possibly a strategic naval passage, outside U.S. control. It fits Beijing's Maritime Silk Road initiative, linking China to new markets and resources. For Nicaragua, China's involvement offers a shot at economic transformation that Western powers never delivered. The partnership is both a geopolitical statement and a high-stakes economic gamble. As of late 2025, the Nicaragua Canal remains a vision, not a reality. A decade after its groundbreaking, no major construction has begun. Promised jobs and infrastructure are nowhere to be seen. Wang Jing's company has gone quiet, and skepticism has grown. Yet, the project isn't officially dead. Recent talks suggest a possible revival, perhaps on a smaller scale. The government insists the canal is still a priority, but details are scarce and transparency lacking. Critics call it a ghost project, and also I schaber de kingalem butter frames, one very far but no physical progress. For communities along the route, uncertainty reigns. As hopes and fears linger, the $50 billion dream hangs in limbo, its fate undecided. The Nicaragua Canal scale is staggering, $50 billion over 270 kilometers long, and deeper and wider than Panama's. It's designed for the world's largest ships, aiming to double Nicaragua's GDP and create hundreds of thousands of jobs. The plan includes ports, an airport, and free trade zones, promising to turn Nicaragua into a regional logistics hub. Proponents tout it as a silver bullet for poverty, but critics question the cost, feasibility, and whether enough mega-ships exist to justify the investment. Some warn the final price could soar to $100 billion, risking a white elephant. The canal's promise is matched only by the doubts surrounding it. The canal is more than an economic project, it's a geopolitical move. China's involvement challenges 2 centuries of U.S. dominance in Central America. The canal's depth could allow military vessels, raising U.S. security concerns about Chinese naval access. For China, it's a way to counter U.S. influence and expand its global reach. Nicaragua, meanwhile, gains a powerful ally and leverage, but risks becoming a pawn in a new great power rivalry. President Ortega uses the project to project strength, but the nation could become a flashpoint in U.S.-China tensions. The canal's fate is now tied to the shifting tides of global power. Nicaragua's government hails the canal as a cure for poverty, promising 250,000 jobs and a massive economic boost. The vision includes ports, an airport, and free trade zones, aiming to make Nicaragua a logistics and manufacturing hub. For global shipping, the canal could cut transit times and costs for the largest vessels, introducing competition to Panama. But many economists doubt the demand for a second, pricier canal, especially with Panama's recent expansion. The market for ultra-large ships may be too small to justify the cost. If the project fails, Nicaragua could face debt and disappointment instead of prosperity. The economic miracle remains unproven, and the risks are enormous. The canal's promise is as much about hope as hard numbers. The canal's environmental and social costs are immense. Its route would cut through Lake Nicaragua, threatening Central America's largest freshwater source. Scientists warn of irreversible damage, pollution, invasive species, and destruction of rainforests and wildlife habitats. Up to 120,000 people, many from indigenous communities, could be displaced, losing homes and livelihoods. Protests have erupted, with critics calling the project a reckless gamble with Nicaragua's natural and cultural heritage. The government's lack of transparency and consultation has deepened opposition. The canal's true price may be measured in lost homes, poisoned water, and broken communities. Experts are deeply divided on the Nicaragua Canal. The project has sparked heated debate in boardrooms, academic circles, and even among local communities. Some see it as a once-in-a-century opportunity, while others warn of dire consequences. The stakes are high, and the arguments on both sides are passionate and complex. Supporters say it's a bold investment in the future, much like the Panama Canal was in its day. They believe the Nicaragua Canal could transform global trade routes, offering a vital alternative for the world's growing shipping demands. Proponents envision bustling ports, new jobs, and a surge in economic activity that could lift Nicaragua onto the world stage. They argue that with modern engineering and careful planning, the technical challenges and local impacts can be managed. Backers insist that, as global trade expands, investors will inevitably be drawn to the project, bringing in the funding needed to make the canal a reality. For them, it's a matter of vision and timing. But skeptics, including seasoned shipping and financial analysts, see a different story. They argue the canal is a commercial fantasy, far too costly, fraught with risk, and ultimately serving a niche market that may never materialize. They point to the lack of clear demand and the enormous financial burden as red flags. The absence of major Chinese state backing, once seen as essential, has only deepened doubts. Environmentalists warn of irreversible damage to Nicaragua's ecosystems, from polluted rivers to deforested land, raising the specter of an environmental disaster that could haunt the region for generations. For many observers, the canal now stands as a monument to overreaching ambition, a grand idea that may never be completed. Empty construction sites and rusting equipment serve as stark reminders of dreams deferred, and the gap between vision and reality. As the world watches and waits, the fate of the Nicaragua Canal remains one of the great unanswered questions of our time. Will it ever move beyond blueprints and speculation, or will it remain a symbol of what might have been? Will this ambitious project redefine global trade and bring prosperity to a nation, or will it become a cautionary tale, a dream too big, too costly, and ultimately, too difficult to build?